and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Live. We are live. Today is August 21, 2023. Bender, how are you, sir?
I'm all right. I'm
Bender
all
says
right.
he's all right.
So Stonkington and I were having a little chat as you decided to stroll in 2 seconds before I hit the go live button there,
Yeah.
and I said, man, Hells is late. He's going to get docked, and that's a term we used to use. Like your pay gets docked, or you get docked for vacation time or whatever. But you can managers like still say that? Can you be like, you're gonna get docked? Because that has a whole another meaning now.
I thought that was porting, or is that docking, or is it all
No,
one and
it's
the same?
docking.
It's
It's
docking. Yeah,
docking.
I don't know.
It's not porting.
I don't know. I
It's
have
not
no
porting.
idea. I have no
No.
clue what to say to name this. I haven't really had a boss in like 20 years, so it's difficult for me to comment on docs and time cards and such as and whatnots like that. Very difficult for me to do that. Um, I don't know, buddy. I just don't know.
I just wonder if
Um,
that would, immediately end up like in HR. Well, he said he was gonna dock me, so
Nowadays anything can end up in HR. Offering
well, sure.
somebody one of your Twixes can put you in AR and HR shenanigans. That's just the world we live in. The world we live in. Sonny, are you here?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
How bad's the rain in your earthquake and all that there?
Rain's not bad. Yeah, it's been windy, but rain's not bad. Earthquake was pretty gnarly. It went on for a while.
Yeah, that's what I was gathering from some of the
Yeah,
folks, that it was a little bit longer of a rumble than anticipated.
yeah, it was just like wave. It just kept going on for a bit.
Speaking of rumbles, we have a couple of rumbles this week that don't happen for a couple of days. We have NVIDIA ER on Wednesday, and we have Jackson's Hole in the spotlight on Friday. In between here and there, we have a whole bunch of nothing. That's what we got. We got a whole bunch of nothing. So we have to figure out what these charts are doing with a whole bunch of nothing. Um, Benner, what you got, man? I'm like slightly hungover, I think. So I don't know that I have a whole lot. So I'm gonna let y'all do your thing over there. What you got with them charts,
You hit it on a Sunday night, huh?
man? Yeah, I definitely polluted myself this weekend. I don't think there's any way to get around this one.
All right. Well, you're gonna get docked. Um,
Is that a threat?
would you like it to be? All right.
Better than a
Let's
promise, I
see.
guess.
Yeah. 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 There's no docking. None of that. Okay. So just zooming out real quick on the daily. The channels that we were talking about last week came down to the midpoint of, one deviation of this channel. Came down to the midpoint of that, a little bit lower, wicked, and now we're resting just above. A couple of things that stand out to me here that I have marked. This is the top of the weekly fair value gap right here, which is 44.59. If I zoom out to the weekly, you can see right here, that's where that line comes from. So this weekly candle, being the weekly fair value gap, and the top of that right there at that 44.59 area. And the 50% retracement and 61.8% retracement off that up move measured off of the daily here. So still tracking that. We held that 618, didn't quite make it down there, but this would be that zone in here where, we look to see if they're going to buy where they should buy after taking out these previous lows, dropping down into that zone. We see we're getting a little bit of support in here. Remains to be seen if this holds or not. If it doesn't, then you can see this fair value gap on the daily right here. This goes down to top of that being 43.17.5 and the bottom 42.84. And below that, you can see if they don't hold this, if they're not buying where they're supposed to be buying, if they don't hold this, you can see it coming down into that daily fair value gap down to the bottom of that deviation off that parallel channel, which would put us, just under 4,300. And then below that, you have this volume imbalance here on the daily. So if we start to head that direction, you'll be watching that 618 retracement, 43.40, and below that into this daily fair value gap with that volume imbalance sitting just below. And then there's not a whole lot else that would be an obvious target besides maybe this little swing low down here. That's down at 41.06. These are the levels to keep an eye on, keep watch on. If we start moving, the pressure continues, to the downside. We'll see what, now that OPEX is out of the way, kind of coming into this with an open mind that, maybe we're kind of done with that. We'll see. But if it's going to continue, if the pressure is going to continue, those are the levels that I'll be looking for below. Going back to the 60-minute, look at some of the levels up above here. This shaded box right here is a new week opening gap. That'll be something to keep an eye on to the upside. You can see this 60-minute fair value gap here. We pulled up into it and we filled it, but have not been able to get through it. Right? We've had a couple of wicks through it. So, if we're looking for upside, I want to see us get through that, right? And maybe it gets a retest, but we need to get through that. And then I think this right in here, there we go, 44.27.5. I think what we want to see is that candle to get up and through that and through this new week opening gap, and then maybe it gets a retest, but leave a fair value gap behind that stays open would set up a potential long there. This level right in here, 44.65.5, you can see there's relative equal highs sitting there that we left behind. This candle didn't get taken by these next two, and these are actually the same level. So that becomes, on a push up, this right here is going to be a target. 44.65. There we go. 44.65.5. If I zoom into the 15-minute, you can kind of see how this kind of sets up right here. So you got these relative equal highs in here that likely become a target. That might be about it. Looking here at these 15-minute candles pre-market, you can see some gaps in here, some areas that were left behind. 43.81.75 would be the last one of those. So, in my mind, if we get through that to the downside and it can't reclaim it pretty quickly, that would set up a short, getting through it, come up, get that recheck, And if it looks like that's going to be a test and fail, then I think that sets up the short for those relative equal lows there that we left behind, 43.67.75, and then down here 43.49.75. I think that's about all I got.
Thank you, Bigger. What you got there, Sonny?
All right. Quiet weekend. So Pan W had the ER after hours Friday, so came out with nice numbers. They got a whole slew of upgrades this morning. BMO raised their price target to 275 with outperform. In sympathy with PNW, CYBR, FTNT, ZS also made some nice move this morning. Definitely something to watch. NVIDIA got a price target upgrade to 780 from 600 from HSBC.
Dude, they're just falling over each other to fucking upgrade that thing close to 800.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. I couldn't find, like Wall Street Journal, Barron's, all of those. Everybody had some good positive article about NVIDIA, how it can just keep going up, which makes me cautious. Other one, Regeneron, REGN. So they have a couple of FDA approvals this past week. So their price target's been raised to 985 by BMO. They expect Regeneron to keep going up based on this last two FDA approvals that they received. Other upgrades are DE, UBS, and Credit Suisse. They upgraded DE to price target 560 and 408. AMAT also got an upgrade by Goldman Sachs. They are very bullish on it, raising the price target from 135 to 155. On the downgrade side, AMR and MPW. So MPW, we saw the short report last week, also the Wall Street Journal article about it. All shady stuff going on over there. So, and we saw a lot of put flow on it last week also. Moving on to the news section. So ODFL, they're looking to buy Yellow Corporation, their terminals, for about $1.5 billion. They put in a bid for it. AVGO, the approval for buying VMW has been given in UK, but they're still waiting on the clearance from the US and China on that. Citigroup lowered the China's GDP 2023 GDP forecast to 4.7 from 5. China also did a rate cut on the 1 year yesterday, but they left the 5 year as is. So China stock, I think, went down quite a bit. Definitely keep an eye on that. South Korea's exports in August fell. The first 20 days fell by about 24%. So this is the exports of chips. Overall exports fell 16.5% across the board. So if you're looking at chips, Samsung, MU, a couple other names that could see some movement on that. Meta Platforms is looking to launch their web version of Threads. Earlier, it was just in their platform that you have to. Now you can use it from your desktop and everything. This is going in more in competition with Twitter or X or whatever the fuck it's called now. So watch for Metaflow. Could get some nice movement on that, especially if they start talking about more how much advertising revenue that's coming in. Twilio is going to have an event this week. I think it's on Tuesday or Wednesday. It's their customer and developer conference. So they're going to be talking about AI. Everybody's kind of bullish on them, especially ARC. This Twilio is big in their portfolio. And Twilio is also going to have the CEO of AI also speak there. I'm definitely going to be watching AI, put some play on it. And that's about it.
All right, very nice. Stonkington, Patient Stonkington, what you got, pal?
All right, I'm here. Let's get into some stuff. I'll do some shares. We can look at some smashing things.
Be
Here
careful.
we go. All right, there we are. Here's the cues. We do have a potential smash day long setup here, failed breakout. So Q yesterday, or Friday, I guess it would be, closed below prior day's low. So we have an alert set. If we break Friday's high on the Q, that could be your long entry. And Larry Williams would have his stop below Friday's low, which we've talked in the past. Manage
So what's the
your own
number
risk.
that we're watching for? That 355-ish area? Or what are we watching?
359.4 was Friday's high. So if we pop that
Okay,
on
Friday's
Q,
high, not low. Got it.
yeah, so it would be because we closed below the prior day's low, we're thinking a failed breakout back to the upside. And we will get an alert pop here in the room for a potential smash day to the upside. You can see that kind of there on SPY, but they basically closed at the low. So if you were getting super technical, wouldn't really qualify. And there was IWM, it closed above the prior day's low. So really Q's is the only one that's a clear potential smash day long. And then if we kind of jump into the NASDAQ, we can start to break down where we're at. We've been talking about these fair value gaps on the monthly. So this is what we're trading into. And I've mentioned last week, we'd be waiting for the end of August to see if we closed below this line, which would then have me looking above at this one. Anything in this area would be resistance. And the example that we were looking at in the past was this gap here on the weekly. We've talked about it on the show before. We got a candle that closed below, and then that area worked as resistance. So that's kind of like for bigger term perspective where we're at. And then if we jump into the daily, we start looking for these fair value gaps above. So here I'll just swap over to my chart that I already have marked up with all this stuff. All right. Orange box that we're inside of is that monthly fair value gap we just looked at. Oh, wait. I'm not sharing this. Let's swap to what I'm sharing. Here we go. Let's see if that works. No? All right. Let's do this then. There we go. This is the one. Clean this up. Bam. All right, here we go. Orange box is the monthly fair value gap that we just looked at. We're sitting in the bottom of it. Pink box here, new week opening gap. That area is usually pretty good to have on the chart. Yellow boxes above are these daily fair value gaps. This candle's high to that candle's low. So if we start pushing to the upside, first upside target, I'm going to be looking for this 14.92150. And then we've got this daily fair value gap here. This candle's high to that candle's low. For downside, these are fair value gaps that we've come down to on the 4-hour, all the way back over here. So first downside target would be this line here, 14.573.75. We've got kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulders there that just broke. And then we've got fair value gap fills down here on the 4-hour, 14.728.25. So if we pull back to there, would want to see a 4-hour candle close above that line, 14.780-ish, whatever that is right there. So that's kind of what we'll be looking for on the NASDAQ. I mean, just getting really kind of simplified. It's like, we had the big bull run, and now we had a pullback. So now it's like, is this just a pullback, or did we bait in enough bears to get them all set up for expecting more downside? And I think we have all these catalysts this week that should help us give us some hints. But if this was just a bull market pullback, there's a lot of, if we just took the range of this last little run, I mean, we're definitely in discount, as Mr. T would say. So we'll see what we get this week. Should be interesting. And then we'll take a look at the Russell. So Russell last week, very similar. We looked at this weekly fair value gap here, which is this orange line. And I was saying if we close below, then we would look at this area as resistance, which we did not. We did not get it close below that area yet. So we go over to the daily. We've got some daily fair value gaps. First one being above here. And then we've got another one. This candle's high to this candle's low. Pink box, new week opening gap. And then I have this purple line. I think it looked really clear on the 4-hour. Yeah, there we go. This could be a key level if we're going to push down. I'm going to be watching that 1852.40 there on the Russell. Just call those out and see what we get. And then the only other one thing, I didn't have too much for individual tickers. I'll call out the levels as we read the flow in the room for things like Apple and everything. But one thing I noticed when I ran the weekly inside bar scan was there was a ton of oil names. So I think we could be set up for some kind of move over here on crude. A lot of inside bars on Oxy, VLO, Hess, all these different oil tickers coming into this week. So this is kind of what I have marked up here. Let's see. Start on a monthly. Monthly fair value gaps could be this orange box below. Maybe a monthly kind of double top here. These are pretty equal highs that we paused at. And then if we come down into the weekly, we got another weekly fair value gap below. So, and then I have this line marked, which clearly there's something down here that everyone keeps bouncing off of. So I'm going to keep a close eye on crude this week, just with all the other tickers that compressed around it. And I think that's all I've got for today. I'll just call out the other levels for individual tickers throughout the day.
Very nice. Thanks, Stonkington. Fellas, you guys have anything else? I don't have like I said, I don't have a whole hell of a lot. It's like we're from my standpoint, we're still trapped in the middle of nowhere with, forces on all sides being fucking really, really twattish. So I don't know what to do with this. I know flow was not bullish coming into this week. But it's like I think we've seen that for the past, several sessions that it's just not bullish. And there's no other way to really look at it. Price action has been what it is. Flow has been, it's like looking for bull flow has been almost needle in the haystack as to where when you see it, you're like, oh, wow, great, amazing. But the vast majority of it is leaning bearish at this point. So it's like you can be optimistic and be like, oh, it's neutral to bearish, but bearish is still in the picture when it comes to flow. So in order for that trend to change, we have to have bull come in and say, hey, guess who's back? And he has to do that. So far, not doing it. So I guess we'll see when we get there. Bender, you have anything else?
Nope. Nothing else for me.
Bender says no. Stonkington, you got anything else?
Yeah, one other thing that I thought could be useful, it's like we have all these tools available to us here at Black Box, and one thing we're kind of like building in things that we get into our routine to talk about. We built in the multi-leg, something we weren't really focusing on. So the next one that I will be working to build in is the study on black box gamma exposure on the charts. We have that as an option, something we can look at. And it's kind of a little bit of an in-depth topic. So I figure when we have a couple of minutes now, might as well start talking about it as opposed to trying to learn it on the fly while we're trading. So basically, black box study that you can add to the chart. It's going to show red horizontal lines for negative gamma and green lines.
Are you showing us on your screen or no?
I accidentally clicked specific window. I'm trying to switch over to full screen. Here, maybe let me end and then I'll finish that. Let's see if this pops up. All right, here we go. So studies, gamma exposure, nothing on the chart at the moment. But basically it's just going to be like red horizontal lines versus green horizontal lines equal positive, red equals negative. So to the concept of gamma. And so basically when a market maker when a trader buys a put or buys a call, the market maker needs to create a hedge because they're taking the other side, and so that hedge is kind of what creates the gamma. And so like if when traders buy a bunch of calls, then the market maker has to buy stock to get to hedge the call position, because the market maker's side of the trade will go down if the market goes up, if that makes sense. So if the gamma lines, so positive gamma will be the ones that are going to keep the market in a tighter range. Basically, if everybody else is buying calls and the market starts to move up, then the market makers need to short to offset the fact that they'd be losing on the call side that everyone bought. Negative gamma is going to be kind of when the market makers start to trade with the direction of the market, meaning negative gamma creates more volatility and bigger potential for bigger range. And so the fact that we have this on the black box charts is going to be one that it's like we got to be we should be talking about this a little bit more throughout the day, I think. So it's going to be something I'll be focusing on, and we'll drop some charts in the room throughout the day. But yeah, we're looking for these negative gamma days, where that will be the days when the market makers are trading with the direction of the market. So like example, if they are short puts, so selling puts, they have to short the stock if it's going down, to because basically that the owners of the puts, they're going to start making a lot of money, and those can be the times where it's like then everyone's trading in the same direction, if that makes sense. It's a weird concept, but the fact that we have it on the chart, it's going to be something I'm going to be continuing to study on and talk about more. Just wanted to throw it out there, so like we're not trying to learn it on the fly. And I'll drop some notes that I was taking over the weekend, so you guys can read through this in the room as well. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Stonkington. Appreciate it. Sonny, you got anything else?
No, nothing.
All right, very
Yeah,
good.
since
That's
then.
it. We have about 11 minutes until open. 11 minutes until open. See you soon.
See ya.
See ya.